Previously on Command Modern Air Naval Operations.
And it says here, UK forces may only fire in self-defense or when it's absolutely clear they're going to be attacked. That's important because we are not allowed to attack the Argentines until they attack us. And they fired on us. So let's go back up to medium altitude. We are now cleared hot. So yeah. That's that. This is Ebereg, signing off. Or am I? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be playing as the Argentines this time around. We're going to launch as a group with their Mark 82s. So we're going to be dive bombing like it's 1945.
Greetings, folks, and welcome to Command Modern Operations. I'm Ebereg, and this is the stand-up scenario. This is actually a little awkward because I promised I would give you an updated walkthrough because stand-up had changed so much from Command Modern Air Naval Operations, but after replaying it, it turns out that it really hasn't. But promises are promises, so here we go. Intelligence indicates that a small Argentine Navy surface action group, including the frigate Almirante Brown and corvettes Espora and Spyro, are moving toward the Falklands Islands. Command feels this group may attempt to transit Falkland waters and act as a point of leverage in current negotiations on the status of the islands. Enemy forces, really don't care, but they're a lot heavier this time around. The Almirante Brown, the Heroina, the Espora, the Spyro, and the Robinson. They also have some Fighting Hawks, some Fennecs, some Herky Birds, some Orions, some Turbo Trackers, and some Super Darts. Submarine forces, unknown, but they do have a submarine. Friendly forces, don't really care, it's the same as last time. So my mission is to carry out patrols and act as a deterrent to any aggression by the current Argentine regime. Execution. HMS Portland has been dispatched to a patrol zone west of the islands and should intercept any Argentine warship approaching Falkland waters. The Wave Knight and the Clyde are returning from transit and should make their way toward the safety of Stanley. In the event of hostilities, I'm to maintain the defense of the islands until follow-on forces can arrive. I'm also to inflict maximum damage on hostile forces. Let's do this. So, let's first turn off the Portland's radars and get the Wave 9 and the Clyde to move at flank speed. Let's go to RAF Mount Pleasant and launch this Maritime Surveillance Sea King. Also, let's define an area here, add a new mission, call it Fuel Supply. It's a support mission, and we're going to add the tanker to it. But we're not going to activate it just yet. So, let's unpause time and see what happens. Actually, okay, so the weather is actually pretty good. Light high clouds at 20 to 23,000 feet. So let's go to RAF Mount Pleasant and launch these two strike typhoons. Now, weather is actually pretty variable in this scenario. There are cases where the clouds could be so low that you can't really bait Argentine shots. I guess you're just going to have to be a bit trigger happy. Okay, let's get this guy to turn his radars on, move out here. Let's get Flight 247 to turn their radars on and move out here. And let's activate the fuel supply. The thing is, I got lucky. If the clouds are below 10,000 feet, then, well, you're going to be a bit out of luck. So let's get Flight 247 to move to medium altitude. And they've ID'd these guys, so let's move in. Get this guy to overfly this Spora. Let's get it to go to 9,000 feet. And they're opening fire. Let's go back to 12,000 feet. And move into the Robinson. And drop 2 paveways on it. Okay, let's move to the Spyro. And, hang on. And again, drop 2 paveways on it. Okay, so that's taken care of. Let's move these guys over here at high altitude. And we detected some skunk context. Let's move to Portland in at flank speed. Let's get Flight 247 down to medium altitude so that we can ID these guys. Okay, so it's ID'd them. Let's get it to move back. High altitude. And actually, let's get it to turn off its manual overrides and refuel. And let's get the Portland to slow down to cruise speed so it doesn't get ambushed by a submarine. And get this guy to route over here. Okay, so we've re-picked up these this surface action group. So let's go to Portland and fire one. Let's fire 4 harpoons at this guy and 4 harpoons at this guy. And plot the course to here, then here. And plot the course to here, then here. And let rip. Okay, so we're in a bit of trouble now since This guy is still operational, and he has SAMs, so let's bring the Portland back at flank speed. And let's get Flight 247 to turn its radars off. And move here to the Almirante Brown. So the idea is we don't telegraph our position by keeping our radars off. And we get as close as possible above the cloud bank in order to be able to drop our paveways. So let's actually get to 25,000 feet. And let's open fire with all of our paveways. And these guys are returning to base. Let's not let them. Let's get them to hit the deck so they can guide these paveways in. And yeah, that was stand-up from the British side. I am still going to do it from the Argentine side, so yeah, let's end the scenario there. 3,550 points. Argentina lost a Fennec, 2 Almirante Browns, and 3 Esporas. So yeah, that's that. This is Ebereg. I'll see you next time. I'm back, fellow commanders, and we're back in stand-up, this time from the Argentine point of view. So, situation, drawdowns in British forces worldwide have made conditions favorable to renegotiate the status of the occupied Malvinas Islands. Our government would like to be able to negotiate from a position of strength. Enemy forces, don't really care. Friendly forces, they're a lot heavier than last time, but there are some key differences. We do get to play around with the submarine, however. That is important. So my mission is to locate and destroy HMS Portland, HMS Clyde, and RFA Wavetite at minimal loss to my own forces. Execution at my discretion. Let's do this. So, you might notice I have a lot more to play around with, but the British are smarter than last time. They're actually gonna buzz me quite regularly. So, I can't really rely on a surprise attack from the Almirante Brown group. So, let's arm these A4s with Sidewinders. These ones with Hydras, I don't know. Let's also go to the Almirante Brown group, launch the Fennec, and go to this airport, launch both P3 Orions, bring the Spyro group down here, then up here at flank speed, and bring the Santa Cruz down here, periscope depth cruise, and unpause time, see what happens. So the helicopter is taken off. Let's get it to turn on its radars and move down here. And when the Orions is taken off, let's get it to turn on its radars and move down here. And the other Orion is taken off. Let's get it to move down here, 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 then here. And move forward. Okay, so we found the Portland. Let's bring the helicopter down to a hover. And let's bring the Santa Cruz down here, then up here. Okay, let's get the Santa Cruz to go as deep as possible. And get it up to full speed. And let's move the Almirante ground group over here, then here, at flank speed. Let's bring this Orion over here, so it doesn't get spotted. And let's depat this Orion. And the Fennec is returning to base. So let's focus on this Orion. Okay, let's get this Orion down to 2,000 feet. Okay, let's bring the Santa Cruz to a stop. And my Skyhawks armed with Sidewinders are ready. Let's get this Orion to turn its radars on. Oh dear. We got a Sea King up. Let's bring the Almirante ground group over here. Okay, so we found this group. Let's move these guys up here. Okay, so let's define an area here. Add a new mission. Call it fuel supply. It's a support mission that's inactive. Turn off the 1/3 rule and add both of our Herky Birds to it. Let's bring the fuel supply mission down here. We do not want to move this guy because then the Montrose will spot us. See, our torpedoes are not very fast. They're not much faster than the Portland, so we can just outrun them. So we're going to have to wait until very close in. Actually, speaking of which, let's get the Santa Cruz to hold its fire. And let's bring the Spire group down to a creep. Shit. Okay. So Portland has changed its direction. That's going to be a bit problematic. Okay. Let's launch the fuel supply, go to Lagos aircraft, and launch a fighting hawk with Sidewinders. And let's bring the Santa Cruz here and here at cruise speed.
Tactical. Buster 2 on negative radar contact. Procedural control only. Maintain.
Actually, I have a cunning plan. Bring the Almirante ground group down towards the Portland. And get the Santa Cruz to move here, then here. And let's bring this guy here, then here at minimum altitude, so he doesn't get spotted. And bring the Santa Cruz down to a stop. Okay, bring this Fighting Hawk here and here. Okay, let's go to Rio Gallegos And launch our superintendent darts. They're carrying exocets.
Pretty tactical. Buster 2-1, negative radar contact, procedural control only, maintain own separation. Pretty tactical. Buster 2-1, negative radar contact, procedural control only, maintain own separation. Pretty tactical.
Okay. Let's get these guys to refuel from the fuel supply and bring them here, then here. Bring this guy here. Let's get him to turn his radars on. Okay, the Sea King is at 7,000 feet. Let's get this guy to turn his radars off. And bring him up to 5,000 feet. Which makes me really nervous because he's going to get spotted. And possibly even identified. And let's get him to fire another Sidewinder. And let's get him to return to base at minimum altitude. Yeah, they've identified that guy. They now know we're hostile. Okay, so that was a bit of a bugger, but I'll take what I can get. Move the Spyro group up here. Get... No. Okay, so let's just move on forward. So now we're going to have to rely on the Almirante Brown group to take up Portland. Which, yeah. Can they bring this guy back? Shit. I think we're gonna lose that Orion. Bring him back at military power. And get this guy to turn off his manual override. Yeah, the Orion is down. Shit. And now Portland has spotted the Almirante Brown group. So let's bring the Santa Cruz down here, then here. At creep speed. We're detecting the Portland from the Santa Cruz's sonars, okay. And it's going 25 knots. So let's go to 20 knots ourselves. And slow the Santa Cruz down to a creep. No, slow it down to a stop. Bring the Spyro group up here. And go to the Almirante Brown group. Yeah. Okay, let's get the Santa Cruz to go just over the layer. Actually, let's go to this waypoint, set it to minimum altitude. And bring the next waypoint over here. And focus in on this little duel. And I think it's time we fire. And get the Santa Cruz down to as deep as possible. It appears the Santa Cruz has been hit. Really wish it hadn't glitched out like that, but okay. Santa Cruz has been destroyed. And the Portland's down. Okay. So let's focus on these Super Intendards and bring these guys up here. Okay. So let's get Flight 239 to fire its Exocets. One at the time, and the rest of the Wave Knight. And let's unassign Flight 239 so that they don't RTB. Let's get them to hit the fuel supply at minimum altitude, cruise speed, and bring the Almirante Bravo group here, here, and here. Okay, it looks like these guys have detected the Exocets. And this patrol boat, this Tyne, is dead in the water. So let's bring the Spyro group over here. Oh, it's not dead in the water, it's just moving that one knot. Shit. Okay, I'm gonna lose this P3 Orion. How did they snoop it out? And let's get this guy to return to base now. Actually, let's unassign this guy and get him to refuel for the fuel supply. And Orion is down. Let's go to the Spyro group and get them to turn on their radars. Okay, Flight 239 is refueling. Okay, now it's unassigned. Let's get it to return to base. Oh. Apparently the Tyne class has sunk. Okay, let's get the Spyro. No, they're already set the weapon control status to tight. And we've been snooped, although I don't think that's going to do the Brits any good. Tempted to use these guys with Hydras, but they're really big targets. And they don't have a lot of fuel, so they can't do the ingress at low altitude. Okay, so we require the Wave Knight. Let's fire all of our Exuses at it. And the Wave Knight is down. So, let's end this scenario there. 3,200 points, that's, not bad. Not good either, but it's not bad. Gotta be honest, I, got a little unlucky with the loss of both my Orions. As well as the, submarine attack. That could have gone better, but yeah, that's the updated version of stand-up. You really have to pick your moment to strike. So yeah, that's that. This is Ebereg, signing off.